Hello, I am Michael Lighten, writer of science fiction related works. I'm reading a section from Pure Teachings for the World. Each section will have its own part so that you can hear how the writing flows and see if you have interest. This reading will consist of part 6. I believe on that I have my parts right. Let's see. Some thoughts on the nine attributes. Introduction to the sources. I collected these sources over several weeks. With hundreds of quotes, I adjusted it down to 9 quotes, one per attribute. I condensed the idea to keep the book simple and easy to read. Any large scholarly or religious book quotes were not used because I wanted to keep the idea simple. I believe in the future there will be time to go deeper into religious or scholarly books, but this was not the type of book for that. Recently, I found this to be intriguing. When I had the patience attribute before sincerity, I was immediately corrected from inner spirit that patience always began before being honest. I was mildly surprised and found this to be true, because to be honest with yourself would take a great deal of patience. In reading this work, there is not a specific order that it should be read. Go where your heart leads you, and you may go to the end or the beginning. This is your choice. Those who read this book can only go to the attribute that is in their heart. But it all starts with being patient with yourself. What is an attribute? Many years ago, I went through an emotional, spiritual awakening. It was a gradual opening like a flower. I believe it has something to do with pruning and trimming. Things did not go right, no matter what my intentions, good, bad, or indifferent. There were periods of time I completely tossed all projects out the window or placed them on hold and did not try anymore. Fell into a holding pattern, and many thought I fell off the earth because I had become silent. Within all this quiet time, I was given words to keep me strong from the divine spirit, which I name inner spirit at times. First word was patience. I was instructed by Spirit to be patient with myself. Gradually, I was given 1 word instructions and now up to 9 words, which I call attributes. Attributes are qualities, characteristics, or traits of something. Also, was asked by Spirit to tell others of these words so they can use them in their lives. So, I hope that this small book can be of help to you, the reader. Patience. Moliere quote, trees that are slow to grow bear the best fruit. On Earth, every event requires patience. Baby takes several months to be born. Molecules that form the child are a gradual process that is complex. Since the process, fetal development is complex and takes some time, should we not continue to go through complex situations that require time to sort out? A person that does not show patience is a person who does not know much about life or understand its deeper meaning. There are many who do not believe there is a God or a higher power, but for the life of me, I cannot fathom how they would expect to achieve anything of value without divine intervention, and in accepting this divinity, to have patience when receiving help. Struggles are a part of life and cannot be denied. Many try to shift gears away from struggles and find themselves in another struggle elsewhere. These struggles require patience to go through, and if we go through them rightly, we will find they are behind us in due time. Negative events happen to all people, but it is how we react to them, if it prolongs the agony or brings a lighter day. This negativity is from the inside pushing outside. Events have happened in our minds before they get there. We wonder why things are so dark because of our point of view. To move past these events properly takes patience. We at all times find ourselves in dark events. If we just reversed our point of view to a positive mindset and a heart set in serenity, the darkness would fade and diminish and be no more. But this takes patience. The negative mind is the mind that says no, even if no is not required. In the mind of yes, the no is reversed, and the action to move in yes is accomplished. But to achieve this takes deep patience and caring. Life without joy is a life of misery, and we will need patience to endure through the times of pain, even to wait in long lines at the supermarket or to hear what a doctor has to say about a coming diagnosis. There are degrees of patience which have behind its curtain anticipation. In all waiting, there is anticipation of what is to come. And if we try to and control what is to come, it begins to control us. The requirement to manage patience is faith. We must have enough faith that in the dark times we will endure. I am sure we have all given up on something at one time or another. Does this mean we are quitters? Yes, for that event or situation. But if we endured but a little, we use patience, and it could only strengthen our character. Some things do not need perfecting, only our anticipation and the experience we can derive from it. Then we can carefully put it aside for something else. Patience is required when we push for perfection. Those things we can shoot for perfection are already in our hearts, but we need recognition of that love before we can start any mold and begin any act towards perfecting anything. Patience is the key here. We need to know that whatever project we begin to mold is already at its stage of perfection. Our manipulation can only change its surface, but never its nature. To complete a difficult project should not be accomplished for recognition or fame. Ever hear of those people who constantly point and say, "This is what I have done," or "Watch what I do next"? It should not matter if people notice or not. If it is your heart to complete a project, complete it without recognition and let the project speak for itself. To be a great teacher, you must be able to deal with several groups of people and have infinite patience with all of them. Each group may be slightly different in look and perception of things, and a great teacher will know how to move in and out of circles like an even flow. The negative mind that says no is required like the positive mind that says yes. It's not that the negative mind is an evil symbol of being human, but it's used in the wrong place. We can use the no or no mind when something does not feel right. We must make a critical decision. In making critical decisions, there must be pause or touch of patience. If we use the yes or yes mind only in critical thinking, we become yes people, and that is not good. A balance of yes and no minds is required in critical thinking. If we do not show balance, we are considered too dark, no mind, or too bright, yes mind. We must observe our own inner reactions like a self counselor, but without self judgment. But observe as a scientist who can later evaluate intentions without bias. If this is not possible, then a counselor may be required to look from the outside at things which we are not able to see on the inside. All of this requires a deep love and patience that is long lasting. Sincerity. Confucius quote the Analects, hold faithfulness and sincerity as first principles. There must be a certain amount of faith in being sincere because it will burn. To be honest with yourself and all things around you will cause a burn within. The word sincere sears burns into the soul. Sincere soul will continue to burn, and each day will be a challenge because of the burning. Have you noticed when there are honest individuals within any facility or place that others around that facility or place move towards a more honest frontier? I have seen this time and again on various occasions. I'm sure it works on the reverse, unfortunately. Before I sit to draft any book, I need to let the idea rest in my mind before I can write about it with conviction. It must come from the heart first. Each character will move in its own bubble, which is within a bubble within a bubble. Honesty is the key to giving the story a life it would not have achieved otherwise. Also, you can find as you increase in sincerity that the things you care about will be increased. This shows that sincere actions do have an abstract effect on things around them. Also, you will notice that many friends that come around you will be sincere like you. You will run in the same groups and have similar interests. A society that cultivates greater sincerity is a society that can expand with greater sincerity. This is the type of society I believe that everyone should push towards. Without morals or what we perceive to be right or wrong, society is destroyed. There must be a sense of this right and wrong, and this must be taught to the young while they are still young, so they can begin to project it into society as they increase in stature and ability to make a difference. Sincerity, along with a good moral compass, will contribute to a strong and balanced society. Humility. Rick Warren quote, true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. The purpose driven life. What on earth am I here for? To be humble without a hint of pride can only bring selflessness. From this person's viewpoint, it is about others and not them. It is about stepping out of the way, yielding as others go first. Speaking little of oneself, considering our own affairs, is a step in the right direction in humility. I have talked to people who believe that humiliation was related to humility. It's because of the similarity in their words and their root words. Other than that, their difference is vast. Nothing good can live in the person when there is much pride. People say they are proud of themselves or pride in their nation. Pride is not necessary to be patriotic. You can still love your country without pride, but people connect the feelings of pride with love, and this has caused isolationism and war in the past. Divinity and humility go hand in hand and cannot be divided, but through feelings of pride. To be like the rainbow is an excellent analogy of being humble. The rainbow bows its head to the vast earth and receives its energy from the mighty sun. Compassion. Roy T. Bennett quote, more smiling, less worrying. More compassion, less judgment. More blessed, less stressed. More love, less hate. The light in the heart. Without compassion, a person does not have morals, because to be compassionate, a moral compass is used to assess if others are in need. Without this compass, there would not be a way to gauge who is in deep need. We need to smile more and worry less. This will allow compassion to shine more with less judgment. This will increase more love, and the hate will abate. I believe that many live in a state of constant depression. This is a tragedy before tragedy transpires through violence and or death. Because without the warmth of light and love, God cannot shine his compassion through. Many of us live in a disconnect from those things around us, but it is the connectedness that brings true compassion in individuals. Those who live with a variety of barriers are missing out on the totality of life. We live in assumptions as human beings. We do it more times than we know. This is one reason why many individuals have problems with the God complex, because the whole of mention of God changes their view of the subject. We must drop all assumptions of what we think God thinks of us and live life totally. Politics need principle, and if we are to have progress, there must be compassion. How many projects were started without the people in mind or our environment? This is the universal law of do unto others as you will have others do unto you. What goes around comes around, and the pain of remembrance increases the agony of those affected by their own works. Each country has problems, but it is these United States, there is their problem of race. The old issue of slavery is still imprinted on this society, and many have tried to use this issue to widen an already divided country. An inspiring leader can help to amend this country's pains and issues of slavery, but not a divisive leader. It must be someone who can see both sides of the issue and see the middle way. Consideration. Bryant McGill quote, if your life is a miserable disaster, you might want to consider that it's because you are doing something wrong. Simple reminders, inspiration for living your best life. Selfish people also do not obtain their dream of self absorption. Each time they try and achieve their goal, it is constantly denied. This proves it is not about the self, but a higher cause. Yes, an education is necessary, but to be considerate of others is a more powerful tool when it comes to education. To be considerate, you will have to observe the emotions of people and discern how to best manage them. This is an education itself. In studying words, music, or other forms of literature, we must keep an open mind. Other words, when we study anything of value, we should have a deeper, higher purpose other than to debate or take things for granted, any given information, but to consider and weigh what is right or wrong in the matter. Mistakes are part of being human. It will happen in life, and we should not be afraid of them, but to learn from them in humility and consideration. These perceptions can only help us to be better individuals. Even in anger, there should not be an immediate response from us. This can only result in tragedy because emotions are volatile. We should use consideration and move to kindness and love. You will not believe how many times I've talked to friends and family who pointed outside themselves at what they thought the problems were. Of course, I turned the problem inward and asked them to look at themselves and become exiled for a time. I used the same solutions for my life, and even though it was painful, I grew from looking within where the problem really just stated. Have you noticed those people who are kind, polite, and considerate have a certain light about them? They bring light as they move about their daily tasks. We should pray that more people like these are about us, not the dark ones who expound negative moments and sadness. If we consider each moment before deciding, there will be less errors in our endeavors, less failures too. Counselors have a powerful, strong ability to adjust others away from darkness by listening and seeing from the outside that we cannot see from the inside. They have a great ability when they are non judgmental, but careful in the observations. Appreciation. H. Jackson Brown Jr.'s quote: "Don't forget, a person's greatest emotional need is to feel appreciated." Life's Little Instruction Book: 511 Suggestions, Observations, and Reminders on How to Live a Happy and Rewarding Life. When people do not feel appreciated, we begin to act out against those we believe is withholding appreciation for our time and effort. It is not only about the money. When it comes to compensation and time spent, it's about saying thank you or saying I appreciate you. These are powerful statements that, when said and meant, can transform a dark moment into a light moment. If we do not honor and support those we care about and love in their interests, do not expect them to participate in big events related to you. I recently made an error in this matter when I did not call one of my family members on their birthday. I usually honored birthdays even more than holidays, but this time I dropped the ball, and they were deeply disappointed in me. I confirmed this disappointment in sincere agreement. Knowing that we are appreciated does give us energy to move forward, and this connection with what we care about has an undercurrent. They will appreciate it, our efforts to make their life better and more fulfilling. Taking care of ourselves is a form of appreciation. If we care for our body, mind, and soul, it can only expand our horizons and enhance lives. Many try and possess an object, situation, or person, but these things cannot be truly possessed. We come into this world without a thing, and we leave with only our experience of how we lived. But in appreciation, we do not hold onto any place, person, or thing, but release and honor His presence in our lives. At various times, we have had mercy when someone could have caused greater harm to us, and this caused some sense of peace and is much appreciated. Appreciation goes a long way when it comes to frustrations, which can lead to disappointment and finally despair. When in despair, this is where the most tragedies endure because it is a dark place of no light, hope. But when we appreciate what good moments we have, we can trudge forward from despair, disappointments, and into frustrating moments. Then, from frustrated moments, we can move into hope, faith, and love. Each day, when we send light in our mind and heart to others, it will lighten their moment. We can pray and send these beams of light to a person most in need. But to achieve this, we must appreciate the moment we are in. Respect. Lao Tzu, quote 1. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. Tao Te Ching. Just being who you are without comparing or competing with others is the best way of living our lives in a respectful way. There is a connection between respect and being truthful. Much of this has to do with integrity, which is the next attribute, but they are connected and cannot be separated. We are not forced to choose between good or evil, but if we accept the light of optimism, the joy from happiness, and the tender mercies of kindness over dark workings of depression and rage, we will leave a legacy of light and love. Our enemies are usually made before we get there. Already, we have assumptions of people through the rumor mill. Some facts we consider to be horrible about them, and automatically we eye them with disdain. But in looking at these same people with new eyes of non judgment, a whole new relationship can transpire. If we hang with those who do not mean us any good, we will only open ourselves to further darkness and tragedy. It is our lifestyle that will dictate whether we can respect from others. We can get respect from others. We cannot demand respect. It must be given freely and without persuasion. If we abuse our bodies with substances that do not give us physical or mental benefits, we are opening ourselves to all forms of disrespect. We as a people on this grand earth who live under democratic rule expect those in positions of power to fulfill their purpose of making sure the people are safe and well taken care of. But when this trust has been abused time and again, it can cause civil discord into open rebellion by the people. These are steps to the end of democracy, civil discord, civil disobedience, and open rebellion. Love, admiration, and respect are essential ingredients to view the world through new eyes. If we despise this world, we will despise all that is in it, including ourselves. Integrity. Lao Tzu, quote 2. The person of superior integrity does not insist upon his integrity. For this reason, he has integrity. The person of inferior integrity never loses sight of his integrity. For this reason, he lacks integrity. Tao Te Ching. Integrity is standing on our ground in times of stress and tension and not budging if we believe we are right. If we find our view to be wrong, we must relinquish our ground and apologize for our error to all that we wrong. Integrity is not about self congratulations or recognition, but about making the right stand for the right reasons. In integrity, there is an honest, stern truth that says, this is a stand I will take no matter the cost. When we point out how honest we are dishonest because we want others to notice it. Should not be about others that we become honest because of the need to be the best in what we do. Excellence. Booker T. Washington quote, excellence is to do a common thing in an uncommon way. In moving in excellence, we will expect a little more from ourselves than usual because it is in us, not as a requirement. Commonly doing the excellent thing is what we must want to achieve. When it is common, it is not forced and genuine. Many of us in the past judged people from their stage of height before they understood how they arrived there. Understanding how someone achieves something can make a significant difference in whether we want to go that similar road. Excellence is a habit because it is not something that is pushed on us or something we must internally push forth, but it comes from within. We must go our own way when it comes to excellence and not follow the crowd, but be our own person, regardless of what others say. Excellence is a word filled with achievement and constant doing. We can never be too excellent, so it is a constant process. Have you ever met anyone who has had an easy life? This is a rare occurrence. Many of us have suffered immeasurably in some way or another, but there are some people who had an easy life, but later they had extreme pressures or had to endure various hardships. So none of us will get away free from despair and troubled waters while on earth. Summations of the nine attributes revised. Before you can be honest with yourself, there must be a degree of patience, and before you show true humility, there must be at least a small amount of compassion. Each attribute connects with the other, but as you hone these connections, they will begin to expand and you will grow as a person. As I grow spiritually, I am sure other attributes will be added, and I have the intention of modifying you or notifying you, the interested reader, of any extensions. As Michael Lighten, at a Wednesday of July 15, 2020, and April 13th, 2023, respectively. Next book will be, or section will be, We Are the Fallen. It looked like that would be the last, or it should be two more. That's should be this one and another one. We'll see. I mean, I counted 8, but it could be 7. You never know. So I hope you enjoyed that read. The full book is auto narrated within a much kinder voice on Google Play Books for 99 cents. In the works are 2 more in development. One is science fiction thriller called The Forgotten Case of Rain, and the other is a practical guide to living called Communications in Love. Achieve said works, Amazon.com, GooglePlaybooks.com, Drafted Digital, which connect to Barnes & Noble and Apple Books. Also in the show notes, I will leave other books similar for this work so you can connect with other authors. My website is www.peoplestillread.com. So Michael Lighten, and I will connect with you in the next audio.